Okay, guys, so today I'm going to be reacting to this video that I just saw someone on Twitter. Like, I saw a part of it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find this on YouTube and react to it because there's some people. Apparently, this is a channel filled with a bunch of conspiracies. But we'll go to the comments after this. There are people that actually agree that instead of Michael Pittman Jr. just actually being a good football player, that the NFL rigged this with quote unquote grip gloves. First off, all gloves have grip on them, but when you're playing in a monsoon like that, they basically become so slippery that me personally, I just take them off at that point. But they also have towels and stuff, and I don't, so they dry it off in the towels, but it's still a bit more slippery. And I have a feeling when they see the close up of the catch, we'll see what's really going on because my position is a receiver. It's kind of my forte when it comes to football is judging receivers. So maybe I'll be able to get my 2 cents in on this and see how it actually goes. Uh, Grip. All gloves have grip on. Whatever. I don't know what this man means by grip gloves. They all have grip on them. Yeah, to ice the game. This dude's. Yeah, he's a better. Of course he is. Of course he is. The ball snaps to his hands. Let's get a replay. A close-up replay. Hopefully you show it. Okay. I think we're going to get it here. Because watching this on it didn't snap to his hands. Yeah, that's not rigged. That's just him being a trash defender. If you actually watch the game, you would know he just came in. After sitting on the bench the whole game, he just came in because of an injury. That's not snapping to his hands. You're smoking crack. Look how much is moving around. That's just a great catch. Okay, wait. Adjust grip. Oh my. This man just said adjusting the grip is several things here. Several things. When you put your hands in a triangle like that, because that's you put your hands in a triangle, you cup the ball and you let it go through, you let the tip of the ball go through the triangle and you catch the thicker part of it, which means it slides through and it creates a basket around the ball that stops its momentum, allowing you to bring it in for the catch. That's how physics work, and that's how catching a football works. Also, he was adjusting the grip because it's rainy and slippery and the ball is moving around, so he's adjusting the grip to get a better grip on the ball so that he can bring in the ball. Like, uh, and that's the end of it. That to me just makes absolute. And his videos are monetized. Okay, okay, we're gonna go to the comments now, but that was just absolutely autistic. Like that was, dear God, the reasoning there is bad. Okay, so here is one where they say that they do not just have grip gloves, and by grip gloves, I guess they mean just the normal gloves that football players have been wearing for the past 25, 30 years, but not just, wearing gloves, but they have magnets in the gloves to help catch magnets that attract to metal to help catch a leather ball. Cuz science, physics, all those apply. Like if you're throwing a football and it's got an extra, let's say there's a magnet in each tip and then 3 around the circle. And their magnet's just about probably that big and about that thick. Combined, that's probably adding an extra half a pound, maybe even a pound. And that may not sound like a lot, but with the aerodynamics of a football and throwing it and stuff, if you add extra weight to it, it's not going to work. They're not going to be able to throw it that far if you add extra weight to it. the way that it spins is gonna be completely different. Almost every ball would be a duck because it'd be wobbling just because of the weight. Like, there's no way that there are magnets inside of it, and there's no way there are magnets in the gloves either, because then you'd see parts of the glove sticking out further than other parts, because magnets usually, like, they're that thick, so you'll see that sticking out because the gloves are very tight to your hands. So that one just doesn't make any sense. I really hope this is a troll. Don't worry, I've got more. It gets even better. We have this guy saying that because Romo calls out the plays before every snap, it's rigged. Maybe that's because he was a former quarterback. But no, they've got an argument for the former quarterback thing too. Just wait. Apparently that just doesn't apply. Being a former quarterback in the NFL who spent years and years studying a playbook with all different routes, all different formations, all different plays. I mean, quarterbacks, they have to study a playbook about 400 pages long, probably. Like, they are very large playbooks, like that thick. And they study formations and stuff like that for a very long time, and he doesn't get it right every time. It's not like he's right every time. He just guesses based on the formation where people line up. Like, if you see 3 receivers and a tight end and no one in the backfield or something like that, pretty easy to tell that's a pass play. Or if there is a running back in the backfield, very good chance it's a pass play. Like, certain formations give away very easily to where I can tell most of the time what a team's going to run because it's just based off of formation. And Tony Romo is a former quarterback. Apparently that just doesn't matter. Being a quarterback in the NFL doesn't matter. It definitely doesn't influence your ability on being able to recognize certain formations and what formations are more likely to have certain plays. Nope. Not like if you got a receiver, a tight end, a receiver, and a tight end on both sides, and then a running back. Definitely not a high chance of them running slants or having a wide receiver like run a post, a tight end go out, that tight end run a slant, and then that receiver run a hitch, and then the running back run to the flats or run a hitch. Like, definitely not like certain formations give it away or anything. My goodness. This is the last one, and I barely went through the comments. Like, this is just scratching the surface to some of these videos. This one. The rigging is from the coaches, the refs, and the defensive backs. Refs, I can see why thinking refs sway to one side. Definitely. I mean, I've seen it myself. Refs sway to certain sides. They make bad calls. Sometimes games do seem like they are called for certain teams. But it's not every single game. Believe me, I'm someone who is very harsh on refs. I will jump at the opportunity to say that they influenced a game because it should be noted. And they shouldn't be influencing the game. But I'm not as bad as these people. And the coaches part, where even is your proof for that one? I'm sure you could pick out some really stupid coaching decisions, but most of those stupid coaching decisions were from not so good coaches. Like, every coach will make bad decisions. It doesn't mean that they're rigging games. And then the defensive back ones, saying that the defensive backs have been horrible. Do you know how hard it is to play corner or safety, especially man-on-man, with a receiver who can run like a 4.5 or a 4.4? You know how hard that is? You gotta backpedal as fast as you can. You gotta open your hips at the right time. You open it too soon, the receiver can bolt somewhere else, you're screwed. Or he can, just run to your outside. Or if you turn if you turn inside too early, he runs to your outside. If you turn outside too early, he runs to your inside. If you turn your hips too late, the receiver's already beaten you downfield. You're screwed. You have to time it perfectly. You have to be able to mirror their every movement. This is just a corner. You have to be able to mirror their every movement. And in man-to-man coverage, you have less time to react to it too, because as opposed to 6 yards off the ball, like you would be in a zone coverage, you are 2 yards or 3 yards off the ball. So you have even less time to react to what the receiver is going to do. But the reason they run man coverage is because they think they're going to run a shorter route or it's going to be a run. That's why you don't play man coverage when there's a deep threat, and that's why you don't run zone coverage when there's a short threat. Like, corner is hard, and then you have safety. Safety, if you're in a zone, you stay in your zone, and you have to be able to read immediately when, like, if the corners are told to cover their third. Their third of it, which is basically the sidelines. The sidelines and probably like 10 yards out from the side, 10, 15 yards from the sidelines would be their third. If they're told to cover the third, you have to tell exactly when that receiver or tight end or whoever's running the route crosses into your zone. And then you have to immediately pick them up. And you have to make sure that it's not a linebacker zone early, because if they run the route too shallow and you have linebackers in coverage, it could be in the linebacker zone, and you're not supposed to come up, because if you come up, another receiver could go deep outside of the third, and he's all the way back there, and you were supposed to cover him, and now he's wide open, and you're screwed. So you have to have very good reaction, because he could just cut, run in, and it could be borderline on that linebacker's zone, and you don't know, and then you come up, and you make the wrong choice. You have to read your zones perfectly, and you have to know everyone else's zones and where it is. And then man-to-man coverage, usually you're keeping an eye on, I don't know, it depends. Sometimes they'll have one safety either blitzing or keeping an eye on the running back sometimes, or the tight end. And then they'll have another running safety either blitzing or keeping an eye on an extra receiver or a tight end or whoever is there. And then when you're man-to-man, you're getting up closer. You're maybe even going in nickel corner territory if they have two receivers to one side. You're up there with the defensive linemen or the linebackers if you're covering a tight end who's running like a 1 or 2 yard split. Being a DB is tough. It is a hard position. Corner and safety are so hard. You have to be so precise with everything. That's why it seems like they're not very good, because it's such a precise science to being a defensive back. And being a safety is completely different from being a corner. Like, they're not both the same. So it's not that the game is rigged. It's that it's hard to cover really good receivers. I don't know. I don't even know. The stupidity, I think, has just rotted out my brain. Dear God. My goodness. Like, there's no way that it's rigged. It's not rigged. And I'm someone who is very quick to jump at saying the NFL doesn't like certain teams. They don't like small market teams, and they tend to call against them. But that doesn't mean it's rigged. There's a difference. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and a bit of a late release, but I just saw this and I had to say something about it, because it blows my mind how stupid some people are. See you guys next time.
Just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. You know, one of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.